طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We will continue our discussion and with the theme we have started about how Allah Azza wa Jal will be testing people in their life, and how the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal have demonstrated to us the meaning of the struggle between the haqq and the batil, and how this is one of the sunan of Allah Azza wa Jal in the universe. And in the chapter in the Surat Al-Ra'd, we highlighted this theme, and we continue to highlight it in the following chapter, which is Surat Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Ibrahim's life alayhi salam was all but a demonstration to the sira', that struggle between the falsehood and the truthhood. How he is from his early childhood, when he was a teen and stood for the haqq and faced the consequences of that by being thrown into the fire, and how Allah Azza wa Jal saved him and demonstrated to humanity to come afterwards after him, to the believers, that Allah Azza wa Jal's power is beyond and above the power and abilities of a human, and how this is what Allah Azza wa Jal sunnah is. There is a struggle, there is a sacrifice, there is demonstration to believe in the power and ability of Allah Azza wa Jal, and then after that here comes the nasr, the victory of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Surah Ibrahim continues with have also that theme. There are multiple themes in the surahs of the Quran, but we just, because of what is happening around us, we want to be reminded and inspired about the theme of the Ayyamullah, as this is mentioned something in the Quran in this surah. This is a surah that starts by saying that by Allah saying that Alif Lam Ra كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. Again, the same theme. The job of the prophets, the mission of the scripts and the Quran is to take people from the darkness to the light of nur and hidayah of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then eventually, with this mission, with this process, there has to be a lot of struggle. There has to be sacrifice. There has to be pain to differentiate between who and who's not. الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وويل للكافرين من عذاب شديد. And Allah Azza wa Jal here, warning and saying to the disbelievers who denies the haqq, who fights all the time against the nur and hidayah, a severe punishment. What's their description? Who are those people whom Allah Azza wa Jal have warned of a severe punishment? Who are those who are always standing against the haqq and allies with the falsehood? الذين يستحبون الحياة الدنيا على الآخرة. Those who love this lowerly life above the hereafter. And this is what you would find it as a theme. Now, why are people fighting along with the falsehood? There are materialistic interests. There is benefit for them into this. Why would Quraysh be preventing the Prophet ﷺ from reaching out for people and calling them to believe in Allah Azza wa Jal? They believed in Allah Azza wa Jal. They believed in that He's the Creator. But their materialistic benefit of having so many gods and continue to enjoy their filthy life of engaged in zina and khamr and riba and all the details would prevent them from being submissive to the da'wah of Allah Azza wa Jal. So they love the lowerly life. فَيَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. They always prevent and stood against the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا. Always wanted things to be crooked. They don't want straight path of Allah Azza wa Jal to be known and clear to the people around them. أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. Those who are with these three categories, with this description, are far away from the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, مَا أَرْسَلْنَا بِرَسُولٍ إِلَّا لِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ فَيَضُلُّ اللَّهُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. And then وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مُوسَى بِآيَاتِنَا. Allah Azza wa Jal says that, this is the mission of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They will be sent to their prophets with their own languages and, inviting them to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then after that, Allah gives us an example to what happened to Musa alayhi salam. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مُوسَى بِآيَاتِنَا أَخْرِجْ قَوْمَكَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. Allah Azza wa Jal said, we sent Musa alayhi salam to take his own people from the darkness to the nur of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then he said, وَذَكِّرْهُمْ, remind them about the days of Allah Azza wa Jal. What are the days of Allah Azza wa Jal? The days of Allah Azza wa Jal, the day in which every time haqq revealed above the batil. Whether it's from the time of Nuh alayhi salam, رَبِّ إِنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. Whether it is in the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam when he was thrown into the fire. Whether it is in the time of Hud or Salih. Whether it's in the time where in any part and any time throughout the history, a small group or a group of believers in Allah Azza wa Jal struggled in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal and they got the victory. Whether it's by the Sahaba during the battle of Badr or whether it is in the battle of Al-Ahzab. This is something that Allah Azza wa Jal the Mighty wants us to be reminded about. What's the purpose? What's the hikmah? What's the point? Because this is, as I said, a sunnah from the sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jal in the universe. Whatever we're going through as an ummah right now, wallahi, one is speechless as we're seeing what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Gaza. It's unbelievable. Where is the whole world? Where is the Muslim ummah? No one is doing anything. Slaughtering, massacres, continue aggression, and done in front of the whole world. Where is the humanity, the whatever it is they're calling about, the bragging about civilization, technology? What is that? It's unheard of. We say that Allah Azza wa Jal is testing. Allah Azza wa Jal is, allowing His sunan to be revealed. And a time will come when Allah Azza wa Jal will be giving victory to His deen, will be giving victory to His haqq, as He have done it in the past to all the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal and to all the believers who come before us. This is something that we have no doubt about. We're not disputing in it. We need to not to be questioning it. It is a fact, and we need to always be reminded about it. But we need to be part of this haqq struggle against the batil. And this is what everyone needs to be questioning himself or herself. What is my contribution? What I'm doing to give victory to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ. Indeed, in the reflection of the days of Allah Azza wa Jal are ayat, signs to kulli sabbarin shakur. Sabbar, an exaggerated form of sabr. Not any sabr, isbiru wa sabiru wa rabit. Not to any person who's shakir, but shakur to Allah Azza wa Jal. And the theme continues throughout this surah. How Allah Azza wa Jal, show us there is always a struggle between the haqq and the batil. قالت لهم رسلهم أفي الله شك فاطر السماوات والأرض يدعوكم ليغفر لكم من ذنوبكم ويأخركم إلى أجل مسمى قالوا إن أنتم لا بشر مثلنا تريدون أن تصدونا عما كان يعبد آباؤنا فأتونا بسلطان مبين قالت لهم رسلهم إن نحن لا بشر مثلكم ولكن الله يمن على من يشاء من عباده وما كان لنا نأتيكم بسلطان إلا بإذن الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. Struggle and debate between the haqq and the batil, between the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal and the followers of the falsehood. وما لنا ألا نتوكل على الله وقد هدانا سبلنا ولنصبرن على ما آذيتمونا وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. وقال الذين كفروا لرسلهم لنخرجنكم من أرضنا فأوحى إليهم ربهم لنهلكن الظالمين. This is always the struggle, the debate between the haqq and the batil ends up with this thing. The people of the followers or the callers of the falsehood, they will always say to the believers or to their prophets, لنخرجنكم من أرضنا أو لتعودن في ملتنا. You either give up your da'wah, give up what you're falling for, or we will deport you and force you out of our own towns and lands. And this is, subhanallah, clearly shown and demonstrated throughout the struggle of the haqq and the batil. We're seeing the dua being jailed, being deported, and tested with their stand in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. And the surah concludes with this theme in which Allah Azza wa Jal reminds us that yes, indeed, you might be seeing the falsehood, the batil revealing, but that's not يعني, a sign of prosperity. Remember when in the Surah Al-Ra'd we said فأما الزبد فيذهب جفاء وأما ما ينفع الناس فيمكث في الأرض. When the water runs, it creates the foam. The foam goes on the top and it's bubbled. It's big and it looks huge, but it's eventually shallow. There is nothing in it. And that's what it is. The falsehood and the batil would show the best of what they have. They show that they're powerful, they're strong, and they're going to crush the haqq. But eventually, this is not going to stay forever. When is this going to happen? when تبدل السماوات غير السماوات والأرض وبرزوا لله الواحد القهار يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض والسماوات وبرزوا لله الواحد القهار. This is when people will be standing before Allah Azza wa Jal. This is when everybody will be held accountable for their actions and beliefs in the lowerly life, in this hayat al-dunya. And this is when Allah Azza wa Jal will be giving, the justice and will be giving the believers the rewards of what they have stood for. Yes, there are so many people who have left this dunya and died as a result of their stand. Many shuhada have gone and left this dunya. But we wonder, what's in it for them? What's in it for them will be inshaAllah when they meet Allah Azza wa Jal, when they stand before His hands, and when the disbelievers will be humiliated, and will be faced with the severe punishment that Allah Azza wa Jal have given to them. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمُونَ إِنَّمَا يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ لِيَوْمٍ تشخص فيه الأبصار مهطعين مقنعي رؤوسهم لا يرتد إليهم طرفهم وأفئدتهم هواء. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jal's justice is infinite, and the time will come when insha'Allah we will be praying al Masjid al-Aqsa amineen mutma'ineen. That's not a promise that I'm giving to build the hope in our hearts. This is a Quran we recite that Allah Azza wa Jal have informed us about. فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوء وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوها أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا. خلاص, fact. We mentioned in the Quran as the first fact was giving to them, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أَكْثَرَ نَفِيرًا وَأَمْدَدْنَاكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أَكْثَرَ نَفِيرًا. Yes, your promise has been fulfilled by Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran. Now the second promise is coming. Be ready for it. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإياكم إن شاء الله.